Welcome to the Conscious Parenting Show. Thank you for tuning in and choosing to become a more mindful parent. After all, your child deserves the best of you. And now, here's to your host, Geetika Mrig.
Hello and welcome to the Conscious Parenting Show. Today I want to talk about a topic that is extremely close to my heart, and this revelation has changed my life. Reading more and more about conscious parenting has made me realize the importance of self-introspection and the willingness to grow and evolve. That is actually the only requirement for the job of a conscious parent. So are you willing to introspect with me? Let's dive in. Have you ever noticed that some of the words your parents told you when you were a child are imprinted in your brain? Some of their actions are now your actions, and many of their beliefs are now yours. From starting your day with coffee like your amma to saving every penny like your father. Let's look at some examples of such beliefs that all of us have heard about somewhere in our lives. Let's start with, you have to study hard and get a good job. We've all heard that one, right? Either at school or at home. Next is, money doesn't grow on trees. One of the best answers I've got every time I've asked my mother for anything. Next is, I brought you into this world, so you have to listen to me. Some parents put it politely though. They say, always listen to your elders. Good way to get things done from children. There are some more also, some beliefs such as boys don't cry, behave like a girl, and the favorite Indian beliefs, what will people say? And mera beta engineer banega. Translated, my child will become an engineer. And these are just a few things we heard enough in our childhood. While many of you might have examined the truth of these statements to see if they work for you anymore or not, we all still have unexamined beliefs that we subconsciously follow without questioning its relevance to our times, our generation, or our situation. This is called subconscious conditioning. We follow the conditioning given to us by our parents basis what was right for them. And of course, the cultural norms play a big role as well. So now, as we become parents, we impart this conditioning to our children, word by word. We make a framework for them to think and operate in without allowing them enough space to explore themselves, their desires, their interests, and even so, their religion. What do you think will happen when your children grow up? The inner voice, we all have an inner voice, right? That goes on in our head constantly. So the inner voice they will have that will direct them through their daily tasks will come from this framework that you have developed for them. So, what does it mean? That inner voice in your child's head is you. Just like the inner voice in your head is your parents. Let me tell you how I came to realize about my subconscious conditioning. I have long believed that money is one of the most important aspects of our lives. I worked hard, got job offers from good companies, grew up fast in the corporate ladder, but always felt deprived of approval. So I spent my 20s seeking approval of my parents and the bosses and so on. Any parent figure. Money was not a problem anymore for me as a deep sense of not being enough set in. One day, at a self-development workshop, the facilitator asked me, "What do you long for the most?" My obvious answer was approval of my parents. Then the facilitator pointed out this disconnect that rose from my conditioning and clashed with my truth. Geetika, if approval is what you're longing for, why do you spend so many hours earning money and not working towards your need of approval? That question was a thinker, and the only answer I could give was, isn't that what we are expected to do? Through that workshop, I examined the origin of my belief to make money a priority and the basis of my constant need of approval. And this is what I found out. My parents faced a hard time during India's partition, and money was a luxury. They spent all their lives trying to provide for us. We got good education, got high paying jobs, but the fear of not having enough money remained because that's the relationship I have seen my parents have with money. To motivate us to do better in life, my father always said, "Good, Geetika, but you can do better." And there it was, the origin of my undying need for approval. Has something similar ever happened to you? Let us analyze my situation a little more. Let's deep dive. My parents meant well, right? Everybody's parents mean well. We mean well for our children as well. So, my parents meant well when they conditioned me to think that money doesn't grow on trees and we need to work hard, get a job, and put all our efforts into keeping that job because stability. You see where their fears are coming from, right? Their childhood experiences of not having enough money. But was it really relevant to me in a time when professionals are changing jobs like clothes and earning more than they can spend? Not as much. Similarly, my father felt the need to say these words, "Good, Geetika, but you can do better," to keep me motivated. Of course, every parent wants to motivate their child. He knew my potential. But did I really need that push based on his fears of not being or having enough? My parents meant well. I truly know that. But look at the result. It took me a few years, an extremely demanding job with high pay, illnesses in my body, and eventually a year of doing nothing but working through this need for approval and evaluate what works for me. And trust me, I'm not the only one. The culture of quiet quitting and the startup movement are great examples of the need people feel to break free and examine what the world really holds for each one of them. So, understanding all this, my next few words are really quite obvious. As parents, we must evaluate our own conditioning as we pass it down to our children. Become more aware about the words we speak, our actions, our tone, and our fears as well. And how much of all this we should really project on our children. Allow your children the space for them to think and make their own decisions. Let their inner voice originate from the learnings of their own experience rather than yours or your parents. An Indian mystic once said, the role of a parent is twofold. One, become a version of yourself that you can live with. The version that you like and you can tolerate, you see. Because children don't only learn from your words. They learn from your actions, they learn from your tone, they learn from your vibration, your energy. So if they end up copying you through and through, at least you can live with them and tolerate them and not constantly show disapproval. Fair enough? And the second is to create an atmosphere at home, a certain sense of joy, love, care, and discipline for yourself and your child. Don't forget about yourself, because your child is constantly looking at you to learn how to live their life. Allow the child to find themselves in this atmosphere and revel in their uniqueness. Isn't that what we all want as parents? What do you think? I recommend you take a paper and pen, spend some time alone on various areas of your life, look at what you believe in. Do you really feel the need to work hard to earn money? Do you constantly feel that you need a gold star at the end of every assignment? Do you feel the need to control every situation? And if so, why? 1 ounce of self-awareness can bring about scores of changes in your children. Why wouldn't you want to do it? So, thank you for tuning in. This was a special episode for me as I've never spoken out loud about my triggers and the work I've put in to fix them. Would really appreciate listening to your aha moments or your triggers that have led you to become a better parent or a better person. Do leave your thoughts in the comment section. Here's me signing off till we meet again. Live in the moment.